Good morning, everybody. Got the kids off, time to get to it. Yeah, got a couple business updates where I'm, what is it? How did I put it? Kind of, some I told you so satisfaction. People not really listening, right? So I guess first off, let's talk about this contractor dude. And so there was a miscommunication about whatever my pay rates and blah blah blah, and I was trying to call him and have a conversation. He wouldn't call. I'm like, all right, well, it's better that way because then I can have receipts for whatever is written down and said, which is fine. And I handle it very professionally. Usually I'm pretty blunt and all that stuff, but like, I'll handle this professionally. And I gave him the rates that I initially told him a year ago, and explained everything in detail via text and email. And he just like wasn't reading it or something. And then I started getting sarcastic with things like, because on Monday I'm like, so where's the money or whatever, and he's like, it's in the mail, so it's a check. I'm like, so you wrote a check for the cash amount? That's how I am sarcastic. It makes your brain go, huh? And then he wanted to go over everything again, like back to whatever. And then to recap what was going on. And then at some point, I'm trying to explain it to him again in a text. And this is already written in an email, like detailed and concise and whatever. And he's like, so you want cash? And I'm like, dude. So I was about to explain it in the text, and then I got passive aggressive. I'm like, I'm spending a week on this, getting payment from you back and forth. I don't got time for it. I didn't write that down. I just wrote, you know what, never mind. And then he writes another email like, oh, this passive aggressive, burning bridges, blah, blah, blah. I'm like, you know what, whatever you sent me is fine. And you have to remember, narcissist, they like to get you feeding into all this shit. He would have kept dragging it on. And so I just wrote him another email in reply, and I'm like, I've been pretty cordial and flexible from the start. Or what did I say? It was like, if you go back over all of our correspondences, you can see I've been very flexible and cordial from the start. Like, yeah, whatever you sent me is fine. Like, pretty much, there's my boundary. We're done. You don't get to rile me up or anything or keep this going. Like, you already sent the check. Once I cash it, you can lose my number. Pretty much. That was the undercurrent of it. Like, whatever you sent me is fine. And then hours later, he sends me another email. I'll make up the difference. I'll give you what you asked for. And in the future, we'll just have better communication. And I just said, okay, sounds good. I'm probably not going to work with him again because I am fucking awesome at communication. It's generally the other person. And when you're not answering your phone when I'm calling you, that's not a good sign. But anyways, that doesn't mean I won by any means. That's not how these people work. That does not mean I won. That's a spider web. That's for one, they generally do that. Narcissists do when they need you, and two is to keep you hooked into their little crazy world. And when I work with him again, he's just gonna still be all narcissistic-y, acting like you're an idiot, like you just whatever, all that stuff. So I'm probably gonna really avoid working with him if I can. Sometimes you just need a job, but. So yeah, don't mistake that for a win at all. I mean, it's kind of nice, you know, that he finally quit the bullshit, but that's the setup for something else later. Nobody, especially narcissists, flip the script like that in a couple hours unless they're planning something else later, or they need you for either their feed, their emotional feed later, or they actually need you to do stuff for them. They don't get nice for no reason. Ever. Ever, ever, ever. And once I took his power away, like I needed him or something, then he's like, oh shit, now I gotta lure him back in and wait for another opportunity. That's just how they work. And then on the other front, I got the Ugandan community member who was getting the rental going. And I stopped working on his place. He wanted me to put in a faucet and fix this under the sink cabinet stuff. And the plumbing was horrible. And I knew the previous owners too, and they don't fix nothing. There was evidence of flooding and moisture, blah, blah, blah. And all the valves were shot, including the main downstairs, the main water line. I'm like, I'm not touching anything in here until you get a plumber in here. And he didn't want to do it. He tried to call a buddy from church. This dude's retired. He didn't want to come in and do work on it because this guy starts expecting everything for practically free from church members. That's not how you support people, by the way. Asking favors all the time. If you have a brother and you guys want to help each other out, you pay them in full. You keep your flock going. You don't just, oh, I know you from church, give me it half off. Help me out, help me out. It's like, no, you pay them what they're worth. They'll probably do a little extra for you for free, but don't go in there trying to just get all this free work done. It's ridiculous. So, anyways, he calls me to come back yesterday. He says, I got the plumber, and he fixed this, this, and this for basically everything I told him that was jacked up. And he gives me my punch list over the phone, and he wrote it down. And he is like, yeah, and this vanity in the bathroom. I'm like, he wasn't going to replace any of the vanities. And so I get to the site, and the other Jeff that's there, he's a painter guy. And he's like, yeah, then there's this vanity. So there's a brand new vanity for the bathroom. I'm like, since when is he going to get a vanity in here? And he goes, oh, you didn't know. I'm like, what? He goes, there was a flood. I'm like, really? So what had happened was I went there to get my ladder. The dude's son was there cleaning. He had his son doing free work, cleaning. And I asked the son, did the plumber come yet? Trying to get updated. Because this guy goes ghost for a while. And he's like, no, what's going on? The water's off. I'm like, yeah, because all the valves are jacked. So I kept the water off. And he's like, well, can we turn it on for this toilet? And I'm like, yeah, but you got to turn it off, and I got to go. So here's the main. I brought him down there, twisted the knob, and I'm like, you turn it off because all these valves are shot when you're done. He's like, okay. And I don't know if it was him or not, but it obviously wasn't turned off. And then the bathroom sink valve started leaking and had a pretty good leak down into the room below it and into the carpet. All brand new stuff. And then he calls the plumber. Listen to your handyman. It's just ridiculous. So, and that is another I told you so kind of like, when someone tells you you need to get a plumber in there, like, quick, you should probably do it. Like, use a credit card or whatever. So, anyways, I'm going to write up this estimate for him because he likes to know the price ahead of time. And he doesn't like any surprises. And that's fine with me. It costs a little bit more because I got to, like, walk through, write everything down, take measurements, write it all up, look up prices for everything. It's like $80 worth of work, dude. But he likes to know ahead of time, so that's fine. And I kind of like the pre-game planning anyways. So we're getting into that a little bit today. This other house that I thought was finished yesterday, they want a couple more things. And they're going back to New Mexico tomorrow, so I'll hit that up today for physical work. But yeah, things are rocking and rolling. That's 6 acorns. My little buddy loves acorns. You want to swing?